Hi, folks. Today, I want to share with you a little facial image recognition app that I put together using Python's face recognition library. The first thing I'm going to do is log in with some of my test credentials, and you'll see that users are able to put together a library of the different images of the faces that they know, along with the name to go with it. Now, I'll point out that users will be working mostly with image URLs here in this web app, but the Python library works with image files. So I got to get some practice with turning image URLs into image files to work with them and then deleting them when we're done. If you want to see more about what I did on the back end, I will put a link to my blog in the description where you can see more details and plenty of code of how this works on the back end. As far as the front end, things are pretty straightforward here. It's a pretty minimalist app, so I can to let me toy around with some of the features. Let me show those off. First off, we can add new images to the library. Let's say Dumbledore. Maybe we want him to be part of the party here. So we could put in a URL. And I'll point out that in the case of a bad URL, not only would you not be able to get a preview, you also get an error message saying that we can't process a URL. So if you put in anything that's not a URL that points to an image that the backend could process, you'll get an error. The same goes for if we were to, let's say, put in an image that doesn't have any faces in it. So here's a perfectly good image file, but when we go to process it, there's no face to go with it. So I have the image recognition software on the back end. It can detect faces, and it would be no use to have an image file in the library that doesn't actually have a face. So we check for that. We also check for if there is just one and only one face in the image. So here's an image that we later will search to identify all the people in it. But again, not only is it not Dumbledore, we've just got too many faces. So this also would not work as an image to have to go with the name. Let's go back to the what I think is the original Great Dumbledore image. We can add it like so. Process is great. Now we've got Dumbledore in our library. I could change the name here. Maybe we'll call this guy Dumbledore too. We can do all the editing that we want. And we can even, if so desired, go ahead and delete any images we don't want. So that's how you manage the image library. Let's look at the main event here when we find an image URL, of course, and upload it to scan for the faces. So there we have it. We've uploaded the image. It identified both Ron, Harry, and Hermione. And if we were to say go back into the library and for whatever reason, maybe we don't want Ron to be in our library, we could scan that same image, and instead of seeing Ron's name, it will still recognize that there's a face there, but because that face is no longer in our library, we will put unknown onto any of the faces that we find. And then we just use the information that the backend provides to not just put a name, but locate where it is on the picture and give a name tag. So I had a lot of fun putting this together. Feel free, I'll put a link to the GitHub in the description as well if you would like to check it out. But that is my image recognition app. Thanks for checking it out, folks.